Adam Silver has given an unofficial timeline on the Kawhi Leonard investigation as the NBA wants to have it wrapped up by the start of the season. But the question is what's taking so long? This investigation has been going on for almost a year. And while it's been expanded due to the Raptors and the Clippers trade that has the Kawhi Leonard trade on hold, the uncertainty around it leads many questions in regards to what's going to happen if the decision is not made before the start of the season. We'll talk a little bit about that. Plus, we're going to shift to Philadelphia, where the 76ers are putting a full court press on trying to recruit LeBron James. We'll talk about all these things plus more right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
Well, what's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of the Full Court Podcast. My name is Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow us at the Full Court YT on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. And so Adam Silver officially made a statement in regards to the Kawhi Leonard situation where he said this. This investigation needs to be wrapped up before the beginning of next season. It's going to be going on longer than I would have hoped. There's no question about that. The league did not pause the trade. The parties to the trade made a decision to not go forward given the investigation remained open. Any possible impact on Kawhi or his contract was yet to be known. Though they chose not to live with that uncertainty that was well known before the trade was proposed. I don't think there's any reason for people to believe that the status of Kawhi Leonard would change merely because he was traded. We don't think that there's there, but it should not take this long in order for something to get wrapped. That one came from David Kelly, the director of the NBA's Players Association. So with that said, the question now becomes about what's going on here with this fallout of this Kawhi Leonard situation, right? The side of this, for those that are new to the show, we talk about both sides of every argument. So we like to talk about, just to cover all bases, right? So the good side of this is that the league has set an unofficial deadline, right? That the fact that Silver wants this investigation wrapped up before the start season is great. It gives the Raptors and the Clippers a timeline, and you can't have people sitting in limbo forever in regards to it. And so, the league should and does want clarity on this before games are to start. But the side of this that is still bad news is that this is still dragging on. Like Silver, he even admitted that this is going on so long, and he still doesn't have a clear date on when that. The fact that the language is that we hope to have this wrapped up by the start of the season leads that to believe that there's a chance that this may not be wrapped up by the start of the season, right? The longer this lasts, the more uncertainty surrounds the value of Kawhi and is going on into this, right? Legal and complications, they make stuff messy in regards to it. And so while Adam Silver gave a timeline, he didn't give real relief in regards to this until the NBA actually closes the investigation and then comes with the results of that investigation. There you go, right? And that's a part of this that's there. Sure, you can have a date on when the investigation is when you hope it's gonna close, but how long after it closes is a decision is going to be made on the punishments that's going to be dished out, if any, right? Now, another wrinkle of this has also popped in this as well, as there now is apparently another side of this as the investigation continues on. This one comes for The Athletic that says this. The investigation into Kawhi Leonard and the Los Angeles Clippers has expanded in scope. Not only has Watchell Limpton investigated whether there was a possible cap circumvention through a sponsor deal with Aspiration, but also the possibility of improperly covered expenses by the Clippers for Leonard and a previously unreported endorsement deal with yet another company. The Clippers agreed to trade Leonard to the Toronto Raptors in June, but that deal is on hold until the NBA investigation is complete. So now there's a whole nother wrinkle into this, as now there is a second undisclosed endorsement deal in it. And so the question now becomes, is this even a bigger problem than what initially thought? Because now the investigation has blown up to be covered more than just Aspiration, the second potential undisclosed deal, it raises the stakes even more. Whereas before, I made a lot of conversation on the fact that Kawhi's not even on the contract that he signed anymore, that if even Aspiration gave him some money outside the salary cap, that he's not even on that contract. He signed a new contract since then, right? But now that you're hearing that covers expenses could have been covered by yet another layer and another company, this is huge, right? And the NBA does have to make a harsh decision on this. You do not want salary cap circumvention, especially in a league where the contracts are ballooning up more. You got supermax deals. Players are taking less than the max to help their team facilitate other players. Like, who's to say that a team can't get a player to take less than the max? and then tries to work out a side deal to get them close to that, while they're also, using the money that they save to build a championship roster, right? But on the other side of this, I do want to say expansion of it still does not mean guilt. It just means that there's another thing that they have to investigate, another wrinkle that they have to investigate in all of this. It doesn't mean that any wrongdoing was done on Steve Ballmer or the Clippers' part as of yet. But the part of it that you still have to ask is that, listen, according to former aspiration employees, reportedly they do not know definitely whether there was a deal or there was salary cap circumvention. So you can't act as if that's 100% true, but it is there. The expansion of this investigation matters, but it does not yet equal that a verdict has been struck down yet, and we don't know. The question now that we have to switch to is, let's talk about both sides of this for the Clippers and the Raptors. The Raptors trade is on hold, right? And reportedly, the Raptors and the Clippers, according to Adam Silver, they're part of the ones that wanted to wait on this. Now, the Raptors, should they still pursue Kawhi? Yes. The reason being is that they've already set up their roster to do so. Kawhi returning to Toronto is a huge basketball moment for them, their fan base, and it helps them get closer to being an actual championship contender, which they want to do while, you have, Scotty Barnes developing and stuff like that, and that's what you want. But the Raptors should still be careful in this, and I think that's the part of this that matters, because if this does come down, and I don't think Kawhi is going to be banned from the NBA or anything, but let's say he is suspended for 15, 20 games or something like that, you then go back to the drawing board with the Clippers and say, listen, we still want to do this, but the price has to come down a little bit because we're going to miss 20 games of him on top of whatever other injuries he can get as well, right? And so you still have to do that. Whatever the punishment could be, the health and age still remain real factors for Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors anyway in regards to it. And so now waiting on this just puts more risk adverse to the Raptors in regards to this. Now, the Clippers side of this, right, when you have to look at it, is that the Clippers have maintained their defense. Reportedly, they have been very open in the NBA. They have cooperated with any and other investigations that are done. But to the point of this is that if somehow this trade was canceled, let's just say that happens, it's even more questions for the Los Angeles Clippers roster, who have already got Rui Hachimura in the building. They've made other moves to kind of set themselves up for a better future. Peyton Watson, they may miss out on that part. What happens with Ben Mathurin in regards to it? So, listen, I don't think that anybody should be judged before everything's made public in regards to it, but the Clippers are still under major pressure in this one, because if this deal somehow does fall apart, what does that mean for the Clippers? We don't fucking know. So, in regards to all of that, hopefully this comes to a resolution quicker rather than later. And then that way everybody can just move on and know and get this deal done. And the Raptors can go on trying to be a championship team in the East, and the Clippers can continue their rebuild, which they got some pretty promising pieces down there. Keaton Wagler has been a really big, part of a new rebuild for the Clippers as well. And so you just want to start that and get it moved on, and we'll see. Now, the last topic before we get up out of here is about LeBron James. And you almost can't escape this, right, in regards to it. But reportedly, the 76ers are among teams that are putting on a hard full court press to be able to land LeBron James. Reportedly, Maxey, Joel Embiid, and Jaylen Brown have all been communicating with LeBron James, with Tyrese Maxey being the one that's leading the charge in regards to this one. This one comes from Dave McMenamin of ESPN that says this: Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and Jaylen Brown have all been communicating with LeBron as the Philadelphia 76ers continue to pursue the 41-year-old free agent. Maxey is also represented by Rich Paul and is trained alongside James during previous offseasons, previously referring to the future Hall of Famer as a big brother. Embiid won a gold medal with James on Team USA in 2024 in Paris. Brown, who battled James in playoff series while playing for the Boston Celtics against the Cleveland Cavaliers, received public MVP endorsement from James in February. He goes on to say this, McMenamin says, he's playing great basketball. James at the time said he's playing great basketball. This whole MVP thing, I don't understand why his name is not getting talked about. So it seems like right now, the Philadelphia 76ers are trying to land LeBron James. And Tyrese Maxey is leveraging his relationship with Rich Paul and LeBron James to try to get him there. And the fact that you have everybody being lock in step, you have Jaylen Brown, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey. If you're able to add LeBron James to this team and what they're doing here, listen, I think that you have to put them right up there with anybody else in the Eastern Conference. Now, you still need Joel Embiid to stay healthy, but this would accomplish the thing that I've kind of talked about for a long time as well, is that you have to build a team good enough to compete. And then that way, when Joel Embiid is healthy, you can try to keep him fresh throughout the season. But then when he's there, you're a surefire contender. And that's what this would be, right? All this could still be leveraged, though. LeBron could be leveraging this against Cleveland and Miami in regards to it. And, it does seem like LeBron is really going to make the best basketball decision. He's going to make the decision where he feels like he can win the best chance to win a championship. And I'll give LeBron that because it does seem like that. So the question then becomes about, would LeBron to Philly actually be a championship contending team, right? The fit, it's interesting, right? LeBron would not have to carry the offense every day. Maxey would give him the speed, the spacing, and the pressure that guard that you need around there. Jaylen Brown adds a wing, scoring, defense, shooting, all those type of things. And then when Joel Embiid's healthy as well, that interior dominance that he brings, the half-court space and the defense, and you look at LeBron James and how the playmaking can tie all that together, it could be really good. But it could also be complicated because there are only so many touches to go around, only one basketball to go around. And I do think you do not want to minimize Tyrese Maxey's role because he was at points last season playing at an almost MVP level, right? And you look at both Joel Embiid and LeBron, they both like to control the half-court offense, albeit in different ways, right? And then you still need to get Jaylen Brown in rhythm with his scoring and everything there. On paper, Philly would have the star power to be a championship team, but star power only really works if everybody understands what they have to give up to sacrifice. Now, Jaylen Brown has been doing that in Boston, so there you go on that. There's no reason to think that won't continue in regards to that one. So the question still remains, and reportedly LeBron is deciding between the Cavs, the Heat, and Philly. Which one of these teams give him the best? Philly has a very strong basketball argument. They can pitch the immediate title contention. They can pitch the overall talent that they have. And, of course, the East gives them the easier path to get to there. But all these teams will be there. The Cavs make more sense emotionally. The Miami Heat make a lot of sense as well with them adding Giannis Antetokounmpo and having Bam there, Eric Spoelstra's draw there for the coach that he is and how he coaches that team, all that type of stuff there. There's going to be nothing that can really compare with the narrative part of a return to the Cleveland Cavaliers and what that can mean for the documentary, all that type of stuff there. Miami is kind of familiar in that sense as well. You can pitch it on similar going back to Miami to finish the place where he won his first title at, try to win another title to close out his career there. But I think at the end of the day, at being 41 years old, making as much money as LeBron has made over his NBA career, I respect, as I alluded to earlier, I respect the fact that it seems like he's making this decision not based off money, not based on any of that, but based off the fact of where he feels he can win a title at and gives him the best chance to do that. Shams said this in regards to it. Shams says the feel is those 5 teams remain in the mix, but a focus on Cleveland, Miami, and Philadelphia. And he's made it clear he wants to be part of a team where he has a chance to compete for a championship, a new team environment and culture that he can be part of. The reason that this is taking so long and why he's been able to take his time is that it's not a money-driven decision. So if that's what Shams is reporting, that's what we're seeing via the teams that are named, we just got to see where LeBron's going to go. And then the question becomes about, is that destination the place that then really gives him the best chance to win a title? And I guess we'll see what's going to happen in regards to that one. But that's it for today's episode, man. Make sure you guys sound off down below. How do you feel about the Kawhi investigation? Where do you think the best place for LeBron to go to actually win a title is as well? Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode or an upload. You can follow us at The Full Court YT on every social media platform. Send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. NBA Central Show at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the #1 spot for everything basketball and NBA related. And I say basketball and NBA related because once NBA Europe starts, I'll also be covering EuroLeague a little bit more. We're going to be covering a lot of stuff here as far as basketball. And I have kind of ideas on bringing in European prospects and ones to look at and all that type of stuff. So you want to make sure that you stay in tune with us here because we're going to give you some of the best daily basketball content that you'll find anywhere around. But like I like to end every episode on, love you guys. And I'll see you guys the next time I feel like making a video. Probably tomorrow. Peace, y'all.
Been a presentation of the Breaks Media.